Oh, God. Well,
This is boring.
Food.
Sorry, everybody, it's boring. Right, let me move on. I'm not saying Angie's boring, I'm just saying the clip's boring because we know Angie's funny sometimes. Angie asks if some DV survivors, trigger warning guys, thank you Fluffy Bear. Angie asks if some DV survivors stay with their partners because they love them, don't think of the children. So we're going to have a trigger warning here, guys.
However, this is their reasons for staying even though they have children, right? And I sometimes think to myself, is it? I'm not talking, I know that some women, that is the case, don't get me wrong. I'm just talking about some of the women that say that on TikTok. And I think to myself, is that the reason? Or have you just stayed because you love them? Yeah? Does that make you a wrong-un? You know, you love them, you don't want to leave them, you know, not thinking they're your children. You know what I mean? And I know it's gone off topic a little bit, you know, it has, but it just, my head boggles as to why women support who they support. When
So she's just having an opinion. She's not actually saying, she's just, you know, voicing an opinion, right? So Angie claims that she's been through DV, and I'm not going to sit here and question that. If she says she's been through it, right? Thank you, Dash out, darling. But as somebody that has experienced DV, I've been quite honest and open with that in the past, and I've had children. It's just so hard, and I don't want to trigger everybody here. You know, this is we're all adults, right? Some of us have experienced it, some of us may be going through it, but the one thing that you think about years later is why did you stay? Why did you stay? Why did you put up with that for so long? And I've got to be honest. Do you know what I thought? Do you know what I think? Right? I think I was just like so that low. I was that low, and I'd been like mentally beaten down that much that I couldn't see life without him. Because when you're told that nobody's going to want you because you've got kids, you know, when you're told that you're worthless and you're this and you're that, you start to believe it. Do you know what I mean? Like, it gets in your heads, and it's such an hard one to explain why you stay. And yeah, you do love them, and they promise you that it's going to change, they're going to be okay, they're going to stop drinking, they're going to do this, and okay. And then a week later, it's back to how it was. And then, because I can't explain it, guys, like why you stay, but for me, I think it was because I was beaten. I don't mean like, I think mentally, and it's just easier to stay. It felt easier to stay, and then it takes that one thing that gives you the power to leave, and I think that is your children. For me, it was the kids. Do you know what I mean? It was the kids. That was the reason I left, but it's not as easy for other people because some people don't have anywhere to go. Some people are too scared to leave, like, because they think if I leave, are they gonna turn up to where I am? Are they gonna do this? Are they gonna do that? It's fear. It's fear of what they're gonna do when you leave. But it's that one moment when you wake up and you find that strength, and it's the best thing you'll ever do. The best thing you'll ever do. I mean, I'll be honest, for years later, you know, you're battling in a sense of you've got a lot of mental health struggles and a lot of demons, and, you know, it's hard, but you'll get there. Just that one, and you know, they say, I think is it so many times that you leave and go back, but it doesn't mean it's because you're not a good parent. Doesn't mean it's because you're a bad person. Sometimes it just feels easier. And I'm not giving people advice, I'm just speaking on my own mindset. Do you know what I mean? And I think when you've got children, it's a whole different ball game. Right? it's a whole different ball game. So it's not that you love them more than your children, because that isn't the case. You love your kids more than anything in the world. It's fear. It's not seeing a way out. It's just so complicated, isn't it? So complicated. Yeah, it's a combination. It's not one thing. You can't work it out. You can't. Years later, like, I sit there and I think, why the fuck did I put up with that? Because I wouldn't now. Someone would only have to raise the voice to me. I'd be long gone. But you'll get there, guys. You'll get there, I promise you that. The hardest thing to do is leave, but it's the bravest thing to do, and you'll get there. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you, Shona. So, I think because Angie hasn't got children, she doesn't understand it. Yeah, there are some times that, you know, women have put the, you know, the situation first, but 9 times out of 10, women leave for the sake of the kids, you know. So it's very rare, you know, it's very rare cases women do. I don't know the statistics on it, you know, I don't look into it, but do stay because they, you know, they put the relationship first. But I think until you've been in a DV relationship and you've got kids, it's hard. It's hard. And it doesn't mean that the mothers don't love the kids, because they do. They do, more than anything in the world. Because you got to remember, sometimes with DV, children don't see it. They don't see it. They don't know it's happening. Yeah. You know, it's true. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, darling. I had to move towns one for baby back. Yeah, I did that myself, darling. Like there was many occasions when, you know, I left and then, you know, stupidly, I'd answer the call or I'd reply to the message because I was lonely. I didn't like where I was, you know, and you just answer that phone and then they talk you back round. You go back, everything's lovely for a month and then boom, back to normal. Done it, been there, done that, wore the t-shirt. Yeah, it's so common, but it doesn't mean we don't love our kids. The reason that we do leave is because we do love our kids, and you know, you realise that if you don't get out of it, fucking hell, you ain't going to be here for your kids, do you know what I mean? It's such a complex thing. Miss Red, don't, sorry darling, sorry everybody. Let me read that comment. Miss Red, don't sometimes kids stay with the abuser? I don't know, darling, I don't know, because mine never. I left and never looked back when I finally got the strength to do it. And, you know, it was 18 years past, you know, and there was no more contact, do you know what I mean? So, yeah. 18 years, no contact. And like that, you know, I don't want to go too specific, but he did that as well for the kids. Do you know what I mean? It was the most unselfish thing he'd ever done. Does that make sense? He knew. He knew. So, yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to go too into it because, like, there's only so much I can really say because, you know, at the end of the day, it's not fair, you know. But, yeah, here we are now. And we're out of it, we're happy, 3 amazing children, you know, a granddaughter, another grandchild on the way, a bonus grandchild. Do you know what I mean? So you'll get there, guys, I promise you faithfully, you'll get there, please believe me. You will. Right, let's move on, let's listen to Angie.
Around them. And I think to myself, and I go back to conversations I've had on DV, where they've said, well, I felt a certain way, that's why I stayed. And now I think to myself, or was it just because you want to stay with a wrong one?
Whoever put them helplines in their poll, thank you so much for that. I don't know which mod did it, but thank you so much. And do you know what? That's what I love about you moderators. You're so, you're so on it, and you're so thoughtful for the people in this room. So guys, there are some numbers here in this left hand corner. Please click on to this if you do need any help. Thank you moderators for that. You're gonna make me cry.
Because he spat his fucking dummy out. I don't know, but it's not having that effect on the app.
No, I know, Julie. I know.
Thank you,
Don't get me
Stitch.
wrong. I know some women stay out of fear. I'm not shaming anyone. Please don't think that I'm not mocking it. I'm just saying some of the women that support certain men on here.
Yeah, Joe does.
Were they feeling that same way you felt, Julie, or did they stay because I loved him? My kids don't come first. He comes first, kind of thing. Because there are some women that do stay in relationships.
Thank you,
If
Stitch.
you look
Thank
at
you,
that,
Sue.
sorry, trigger warning, guys. That little boy with the blonde hair. What was his name? That was unalived by the stepmother and the stepfather. I'm sorry, the biological father he was, wasn't he? And she was in a DV relationship, right? She could have left,
Thank you, Sarah.
and she did leave, and then she decided to go back to him. Yeah, so she wasn't in fear, because if you're in fear, you don't go back.
You do. You're
so
wrong.
She went back.
Sorry, Angie, I will correct you there. And guys, Angie is just having an opinion here. Do you know what I mean? I genuinely, at this point, I don't think it's rage baiting. I think it's something, if you've been through your question, do you know what I mean? But it's fear. The fear makes you go back. Right? Thank you, Holiday Travels. There's so many reasons why you go back.
And then she unalived him, and that's why she went to jail, and that's why the boy went to live with the father. And it is sad.
Thank you, Reese.
But also, I have gone off
Thank you,
topic
Stacey.
now here.
Big up, Reese.
Sorry, guys. Trigger warning. But
Yeah,
you know what?
Linz.
I did hear a lot of people have sympathy for the mother. Well, guess what? I have zero sympathy for that mother. Zero.
It's nobody's
Because
fault
she
if you
wasn't-
go back,
if she hadn't
guys.
done what she done with that guy and unalived him,
it's
she
natural.
wouldn't have gone to prison. Arthur, that's the boy's name, and he wouldn't have gone to live with the father.
Thank you, Reese.
Yeah, she decided to go back with a child, knowing she was in what he may do to her. And that's why. So she didn't think of her child; she thought of herself, and that's a fact.
I don't know who she's
Thought
speaking
of
about.
herself.
I don't know who she's
Okay, and
speaking about.
unfortunately,
Thank you,
get women
Reese.
like
Love you,
that.
darling.
I've totally
Everybody
gone
give
off
Reese a
topic.
follow.
He's fine.
However, this is their reasons for staying, even though they have children.
Yeah, so there's so many reasons why people go back and back and back. It's not that they don't love the children. Oh, she's speaking about, oh God, oh my God, horrendous. I can't watch stuff like that, guys. It makes me feel mentally ill. I can't watch documentaries and things like that where babies are concerned. Do you know, the one thing, right, that I hate about being an adult is realising that the evils in the world, how evil the world is. Thank you, Reese. And you think, you wake, yesterday, I had a bad day, and compared to other people, it's nothing, is it? Oh, thank you, Reese. You've smashed that for me. Thank you, Reese. Thank you, darling. Yeah, Harmony, there's so many reasons why people go back. And it, like I say, I've said what I've got to say. I'm not going to keep on repeating it, but yeah, it's a scary place, and it's worse now. But God forbid what my grandkids are going to be. Do you know what I'm saying, guys? It's worse on the streets. It's worse in the school. Now. My friends live in some areas, right, where they have, beeping machines. What are they called, guys? When the kids are going into the school, making sure the kids, the boxes are open if you want to join the box. But I don't want people to come in the box and overshare with situations they've been through, because I don't want people to the worst thing that I ever did was speak about my traumas on TikTok because people said it wasn't real and things like that. And I don't want your stories picked apart. It's not that I don't want you to be hurt in any way, you know. I believe that people should speak freely on what they've been through, but unfortunately, sometimes people on this app can run with what you've said, and I've got to keep you protected from that. And that's all it's about. Because I could sit here and listen to you all day because I genuinely care about what you're going through, what you've been through. But some people don't see it that way, guys. All right? So if you want the box, I don't want you to go into your stories. All right? Please. Thank you. Like I say, I've opened boxes and we've had so many conversations and people have, you know, come in and been brave about what they've experienced. But I'm just keeping you safe. All right? Keep please, because I'm trying to keep you safe.
Morning.
Morning.
So I just wanted to jump up and speak about the fear thing. I'm not going to overshare, but what I
Yeah,
am
no oversharing. You
No, I
understand, don't you? Yeah?
what I will turn around and say is that obviously some DV perpetrators also have criminal backgrounds as well. So personally, with my situation, it was literally he had a really bad criminal history too, and he was on probation for something else. And I was continuously being threatened, continuously had I say gathers, but it means police, at my door every week telling me about the threats that were being issued. And I did leave, and that was the reason why I kept getting back, because I was continuously being hounded by the gathers telling me that there was these threats being made. And in the end, I turned around and said, well, instead of keep telling me the threats, do something about it. And they were saying, oh, well, we can't because of all the language that he's using. He's not making a direct threat. He's doing it like in a way that, you know, we can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So I actually went back out of fear a number of times. So that there are so many different reasons why anyone will go back. And I actually left in the end because social services gave me a choice. It's either him or your kid. And I chose my child. So, but I just wanted to point out that, like, with any perpetrator of anything, there are 9 times out of 10, they are actually more criminally involved as well. And it's also that they use the gathers and other services out there in order to actually, you know, put you in a position where you are fearful, and therefore at the end of the day you will continue going back. And that's all I wanted to jump up and say. So thank you so much.
And I just want to say well done to you. You're amazing.
Thank you. And so are you. And nobody's trauma should be brought up and used against them in any platform. And I have a lot of respect for you for going through what you did too. So I hope you have a lovely day. And I'll see you later.
Lots of love to you, darling. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Hello, Posh Girl. Hello, Ashley.
Hello, Miss Red. You right?
Yeah, I'm good. Are you okay, darling?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you. Obviously, when you mentioned, when obviously we were watching that video about Delusive Angie saying about domestic violence, I had to witness it from a young age. I was only 10 years old when I had to witness it. Me and my sisters, and my mum told obviously me and my sisters to leave the room, so we left the room, and my dad actually physically dragged us, and we had to witness so much traumatic things in my life, and it doesn't leave me.
Yeah.
And then my mum had to physically call the police to get him removed from the property.
Yeah.
And it was only since I was about 17, 18 years old I was able to make contact with him. And I will never, I even remind him now, I will never forget what happened when I was younger.
Yeah, I don't know if you're if you are a parent, Posh Girl, but
No, I'm not. I'm not a parent. No.
oh, okay. I was going to say, like, it just makes you so protective of your children. I think when you've experienced things like that, and like I say, I'm quite fortunate that my kids actually never witnessed a great deal. They did see some things, you know, but not a majority of what happened. But as adults, you know, they're really good adults. Do you know what I mean? And
Yeah,
and
with my dad, it was over alcohol. He was an alcoholic.
yeah, yeah, I get that. But thank
And
you for coming in the box.
my mum's always said that she'll never get back with him. She will never trust him no more.
Yeah, goods. How are you? How are you there, Posh Girl? Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay, thank you.
Okay, darling. Well, thank you for coming in the box, and we're sending all our love. Guys, can we have hearts in the comment section, please, for Posh Girl and everybody else in the live as well, and everybody that's joining the boxes. Remember, guys, if you are coming in the boxes, please don't overshare, because I don't want your, you know, your traumas to, you know, do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean, guys? I'm just protecting you, that's all. I do care. Hello, Ashley.
Hi, Miss Red. How are you?
Hello. I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. I haven't got an experience of DV myself. But I just like what Angie was saying. How does she not come? Like it doesn't compare because it's real world and TikTok. But you know, she lets Corey back in her life after he doxes her and puts her in danger.
Okay, so I think Angie's trying to understand. I think because so, and I ain't going to sit here and defend Delusive Angie, you know, because me and Delusive Angie don't get on. But I just think she's trying to understand. I think because she's not a parent and she hasn't had to experience, I mean, she has been honest and open about things she's experienced. But I think because she hasn't been in situations where people that have gone through DV, I don't think unless you've been through it, sometimes you don't understand, do you know what I mean? But I just think like the Corey situation is completely different to...
No, it is. You're right. It is totally different. It's just the element that she has the fear that he's going to do something, you know. You'd think she'd understand a bit more how women can go back to men that they were in love with.
Yeah, I think potentially, yeah. I think, you know, she could take away from that, really.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not comparing Corey
Not at all.
You know, DV perpetrator.
No,
but,
not at
you know,
all.
she's, yeah, I think it's a great point, let's be honest, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just try and understand a wee bit more before making some, because it is quite damaging to people who have been through that and quite triggering, isn't it?
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Ashley, my darling.
Thank you for letting me out. Bye-bye.
Right. Oh, is this Delusive Angie? I don't know if she's in the box. Oh, yes, she is. Keep the comments cute, guys, please.
Oh, you let me in, Miss Red.
I did let you in, yes, because we're speaking about you.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I don't know what Corey has to do with all of this, to be honest. But I think that a woman that goes back, and I don't care what anyone says in the comments, you're not in fear. Why would you go back to someone that DV'd you? It does not make sense. Now, I understand women that are trapped in a DV relationship because they're in fear, financial reasons, whatever it may be. But women that go back because they love him, you know, I love him and all of that kind of thing, where, you know, some women do stay for that reason because they don't want to leave.
But, Angie, there's trauma bonds. Trauma bonds are real. There's trauma bonds. And sometimes people go back. I don't know if you've been listening to my live. It's purely out of fear. It's for many reasons.
Listen, like I said, that little boy, we were just talking about that little Arthur boy, trigger warning, guys, okay, that was unalived by the father and stepmother. She went back to that man. People were saying that she was actually the one abusing him. It's something I need to read up on. But she went, you know, they got back together. Now, that boy would still be here if they hadn't got back together and she hadn't gone to prison, you know? And I just feel that there are some women that don't think of their children. Now, I've had many people that jump in my box to say that have had their children removed. So, and they've fled. the DV relationship, okay, and they're still talking to the guy that abused them. They're talking to their family. They're talking to this man, and I'm like, but you're fleeing DV. You're fleeing him, but yet you're still in contact with him. How are you not fighting for your kids back because your kids have been removed?
It's so complicated. DV is so complicated. It's not as straightforward. Like, obviously you've experienced it, and you have had, so you've experienced it. Every DV circumstance is so different. They're not all the same. There's different levels. It goes on for longer. There's coercive control. There's a trauma bond. There's fear. There's love. There's so many factors where DV is concerned. Granted, and I've said this, some women do go back and they don't put the children first, but they're very isolated cases. 9 times out of 10, women do leave to protect their children.
I understand that, but I'm talking about the women. There are some women that there's no trauma bond. There's none of that. They just want to stay because they want to stay, and they choose the man over their children.
Yeah,
there are some women like that.
Granted, this can be the case.
Yes, those are the women I'm talking about, Miss Red. Not the ones that trauma bonded or controlled or in fear. I'm not talking about those women. I'm talking about the women that just want to go back because they love him and they do put the man before the children. That's what I'm
some
talking
cases, about. Some cases, you're absolutely
and
right.
Those are the women I'm talking about, Miss Red.
Yeah, okay, but like I say, with a majority of women, they go back because they've got no self-worth. They've just been mentally beaten down. They don't feel like they can live the rest of the life, a normal life, without that person in their life, because that is what they have been programmed to believe, that they cannot exist without the man in their life. Do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I understand that.
Yeah. So circumstances are different for everybody, but I do agree there are some women that do put the man over the children, but it's isolated cases.
I mean, I've heard from a couple of women on here that have clearly put the man before their children, by speaking to them. And I have, done a bit of research on certain things where there are some women that do clearly stay, and they're not trauma bonded. They're none of those. They just want to stay for selfish reasons, and they don't fight for their kids when their kids get removed. I know women that still stay with the guy that have beaten them, and their kids have been removed. And is it trauma bonding? No, I just want to stay with the man that I am in love with. It's crazy, but there are different levels, like you said. But I'm not talking about women that are in fear or anything like that. I'm talking about just women that choose their man over their children, which some women do.
Yeah. Okay, I get where you're going with that. So, like I say, it's rare cases. Usually, women, they do the right thing and they get the strength and they leave. But there are rare cases where some women, you can't.
I think Miss Red, that Charlie little boy, trigger warning, guys, that would be still here if his mother hadn't gone to jail. I think she was in a DV relationship. People were saying it was the other way around, but hey ho. But they got back together a year later. So, and I don't know, can you still be trauma if it was trauma? They were less trauma bonded. I don't know if there was trauma bonding there, but a year later they got together and she SDA beat him and then went to jail, and the boy went to live with the father, and to unalive him. So
yeah, like I say, that is rare. That is the rare cases that we hear of that happen, and it's just way the world, isn't it? It's terrible.
Do you not think we should be protecting children, because that's one case too many, isn't it?
I mean, so protecting children, obviously we need to protect children. That's the whole reason why, there is a law, there's law and there's social services, and, there's different organisations out there that do protect children. But I just think, it's rare cases when things like that happen. But like I say,
there's actually been quite a few, Miss Red. There's been quite a few that I've read.
There's millions of people born daily in the world, isn't there? So if you can compare them to, DV and, normal statistics, do you know what I mean? But
I just wanted to come in to say, obviously, so there are cases where women do choose a man over their children. However, there's also trauma bonds, and I think we need to. People stay in relationships. Leaving the relationship when it's violent is the most dangerous time. And there is a femicide happening at the moment where 2 women a week are losing their lives, whether they're still with the perpetrator or they're not, but women are unable to leave because they're scared to leave, or because they have nowhere to go, or they don't know about the help out there. So I think focusing on these cases that it's not a regular everyday thing.
I'm not talking about women that live in fear. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about women that have left and gone back because they just purely out of, well, I love them.
But women leave, Angie, and they're stalked, and
Can I also just say women deserve to have their? Can I just say one thing? Debbie, can I just say this one thing? Sorry, I haven't finished. And I just feel that also women do deserve to have their children removed if they're in that kind of surroundings.
Can I just say?
Agree with me, love.
Do you know what?
Let Debbie speak. Go on, Debbie.
Elusive, that you know nothing about DV if you have been in there. Okay, I have been in 2 very violent relationships. Okay, and I didn't put my children first. However, I suffered a very, very traumatic childhood. I was put in care. I was SA'd. A lot of things that happen, and you don't think you're worth it. And when you meet a man that says, I love you, okay, and then you go to him and you think that is all you're worth.
Yes.
You know, and sometimes it doesn't matter whether you have children or not. It is from what you've come from the only thing that you know, from the only love that you've ever been taught.
Honestly, it's so true. But like I said,
that's one thing, Miss Red. Yeah, I just feel the social services are damned if they do, damned if they don't. Right? When they don't remove a child, it's how come that in social services didn't remove that child from that DV relationship, and when they do remove the child, it's they're disgusting for removing the child. What do you want social services to do?
Because Angie, this is such a nuanced issue. There are so many layers.
Sorry, go on. Sorry, Anne.
There are so many layers to this issue. Half of the women in prisons are in prison because they have lashed out because of something called reactive abuse, where they have suffered from abuse for so many years and they lash back at their abuser. Mm-hmm. And then they are put in prison for committing a crime against somebody that has been abusing them for years and years and years. That's why half of the women are in prison today.
So I just want to add there, sorry for interrupting, and because they haven't built up evidence, right, so they may have not reported it to the police, they may have not have captured it on camera, took photos of the injury, there's nothing to back them up.
Do you know DV victims are the only victims that are questioned more than the perpetrator on the crime that's been committed? Because it's very much his versus her word.
And not only that, women are also dealing with systemic misogyny. So when we go to the systems that are meant to protect us and are meant to help us, we're already dealing with a system that is designed to oppress us. It's not designed to support us. It wasn't built for us. It was built for men. This is such a nuanced and layered issue that I could talk to you about it for hours, Angie.
Can I ask you a question, Mike? So if somebody was in a DV relationship, I'm not going to say yourself, should the children be removed, yes or no?
It's not a yes or no answer. I couldn't give you a yes or no answer because it's not black and white. Because
what do you want social services to do? Because
it depends on. You have to look at each and every scenario as it is. You can't just give a yes or no answer. You have to look at the history of it. You have to look at how they ended up there. What are the options available to them? What is the history of the mother and father? What sort of relationship do they have? What's the financial situation? You can't just, it's not a black or white answer. And if you want to take a black or white view on it, Angie, then you're going to find yourself very confused and looking down the wrong path.
Well, it is black and white because, if you're going to leave children in a DV relationship, then, something could happen. And then you're going to all go at social services for not removing the child from the relationship.
It's not as
okay. Let me tell you something.
How many times have you all blamed the social services? Why didn't social services get involved?
I think sometimes social services are to blame.
Yeah, sometimes social services are wrong. Like sometimes the kids do need removing and they need protecting, and then the mother can come away, and that often happens. The mum will come away, sort her life out, get her children back. Sometimes kids should be removed. Sometimes kids are wrongfully removed. It does happen if you look into it all. But with DV, every story is different, and it's not as easy as just leaving and going. Like the refuges, there's no spaces in the refuges, or people are told, oh, you need to move from Somerset to Scotland, and they don't want to completely uproot their whole life to move so far away. Like, there's
and
so
I
many
understand that,
different
but I'm still going to
aspects to it.
stand my ground on that. I think children should be removed from a DV relationship.
Removed? Can I just ask,
know what?
Angie? Removed to
Absolutely
where?
not,
Where do you think?
because-
Where do you think children go when they're removed?
Well,
Do you
removed
think
from
they
the
go to a
environment.
place of sunshines and rainbows where it's all happy-go-lucky? Because foster homes and care isn't a nice place to be half the time.
Yeah,
No,
and
it's not.
I understand that, but surely it would be better than bloody being in a DV, and where someone that's aggressive.
Okay,
Foster
well-
places can be aggressive and abusive too.
Yeah.
Let's just say, you're saying that they should be removed. Now, if somebody should go into a refuge and that man should find them everywhere they're going, let me tell you, okay, I put my son up for adoption because if he couldn't have me and my son, no one else could. Okay, that was 26 years ago. Okay, and you know what? I'll never get to say to my son, I love you. I'll never get to say to him, this is what happened. Do you know why? Because he unalived himself.
Oh, darling.
That's why I did my best. I put him into what I thought was going to be a safe place.
I'm so
And
sorry,
now
Debbie.
I will never get to tell him my side of the story. Never. So
and this
don't
is what breaks
dare
my heart,
sit there
Ange.
and
I'm really
say
confused. He's
social
unalived
services
himself.
should be taking children away when you know absolutely fuck all about it.
But this is what
Oh,
breaks my
sorry,
heart,
Donna,
Ange,
Can I
because
just talk to
Let
Debbie?
Bertie
No trauma dumping.
Angie,
Oh, piss off, Angie. You are
Angie,
an
darling,
absolute...
don't say that, please.
Bang out of order, Angie.
I just want to speak to Debbie a second. Debbie, I'm so sorry for everything that you've just spoke on, and I think it's really brave of you to come up and say that. I joined the box, and to be honest, between yourself, and Alicia, you have pretty much said what I came up to say.
Yeah.
What I want to say to Debbie now is you've shared your story. It's heartbreaking. You did the right thing at the time, but what I came up here to say is please do not sit and let delusive Angie get you upset, get you she's not worth it. She's not even come in here on her account that she's going like, she's come in here on one of her little accounts. She's come in here to trigger everybody. The numbers have went up. It's worked. And like Donna said Miss Red said at the start, when people come up and they share their real life stories, what happens is it starts getting used, and potentially this is what she's going to waffle on with all day. She knows nothing about it. But my point was just to say to Debbie, please, 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 I don't even know how to say don't get affected because I've never been in your situation, but my heart is breaking for the fact that you're opening up and this woman's just she doesn't care, Debbie.
I think it's just
I should never have
protect your
shared
peace.
that. I should never have shared my story, to be honest, but she just got me into a place where she just sits there and knows absolutely fuck all about
And this
the
is the thing.
situation.
Yeah, this is
And
the
then
thing.
talks on it.
This is the thing, Debbie, like, with the situation, it's such a hard conversation because it's such a big, like, there's it's not just straight down the middle. There's different, it's like a tree and you've got all the branches where it's not as straightforward of should kids be removed if there's DV, do mothers not love the children if they're staying with
it's
just such a complicated thing.
it's really complex. And Debbie, you're allowed to tell your story because it's your story, and it's what you went through. So don't feel bad for telling people. And I know
I've
you're
just told
upset
God
because
knows,
it's,
I've just told God knows how many people, and you know what? I put my son up for adoption because I knew that there was never he wouldn't let me live. It was either put him up for adoption or social services would have taken him. And the fact that I could never tell him why I gave up, and it wasn't because I didn't love him, because I loved him more than anything. But you know what? I'll never be able to tell him that now.
Do you know
Never.
what,
But
Debbie? Do you know what? You did the right thing. What you believe was the right thing, and I think that was so brave of you. Like, I'm going to start crying in a minute, but you did what was best
to protect your child from a man who was,
you did what was
you know.
best, darling. And do you know how brave that is? Like, please, guys, give this woman some love, please. That what you did was like, it was so selfless, and you know, you did it for the right reasons, darling. And many women do. Yeah, unfortunately, you know, it has ended tragically, but you did the right thing. What
But
at
the
the
thing is,
time that you believed.
when you've come from a home of where your mum, there was me and my 3 brothers. She never wanted a little girl. She hated me. She put me in care because she never wanted me. My other brothers didn't go into care, but she didn't want me. So from day one, it was that I never had a mum's love.
Yeah.
And then I had to show my kids love that I just had to try and show them what I thought was love and what I wanted.
You broke the cycle. You broke the cycle, darling, is what you did.
Yeah.
You broke the cycle.
Everyone should have said, oh, you've been in one violent relationship, you know. You shouldn't have gone back to another one. But
that's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
That's never ever
Explain
your
that,
fault.
Alicia.
Yeah,
Explain why women and men, they're drawn to the same personality. What's it
I'll
called?
let Alicia do it because she's much more eloquent than I am. I just rabble on. But Debbie, what you did was love. When you decided, when you had to make that difficult decision to give your son up for adoption, that was love, because you thought that he would be in a better situation, which it very may, you know, we don't want to get into this is why I'm leaving it to Alicia, but what I want, that's it, Debbie, you did show your son love, and that is it's the best thing that you could have done for him at the time. And if there was a way I could try and take some of that pain away from you or stop you regretting it, I could. But that is love. That is a mother's love, what you did
at
for your
3
son.
years old, and you have to sit there in the park and tell him mummy's not very well, and that he'll have a new mummy and daddy, and walking away and him screaming, mummy, please don't leave me.
Yeah.
It's hard.
It
I
is.
will never get over that.
I can't imagine what you're going through, but I just feel that you did the right thing at the right time for you. And like you say, you have broke the cycle, and that is the most important thing. And like, please don't ever feel guilty for, you know, you said you went from one BB relationship to the next. It's because when you experience childhood abuse and, you know, neglect, and you don't feel loved, you just fall into the arms of the first person that shows you any type of love. Do you know what I mean?
You just want to be loved.
Yeah. Look, darling, I can relate to you. Please believe me.
And I just want to point out to people in the chat, there are helplines in the poll, and please reach out, if, like Debbie as well, if today has left you feeling a type of way, please reach out to someone professional, like, you know, the helplines like Women's Aid, etc. Because people are saying, oh, has anyone got Debbie's number? We're not professionals. I just speak on what I know. Em is really good, but again, she's not a professional. So just reach out to, you know, someone in the poll. There are helplines there and people that will help you, and, you know.
Yeah, thank you, Alicia, for that. Well, I'll give you a follow back, Debbie. There you go, my darling.
Can I just jump in really quick? So all I wanted to say was about the whole, your children should be took off you, all of this. Now, that is really bad. And Debbie, I'm so sorry for what you've been through. I kind of have a similar background to you with mums in foster cares and stuff like that. So if you ever do need to talk, you can message this account, but I have a main account as well, which is probably better to message on because I'm on that 9 times out of 10. But what I wanted to turn around and say is that there are so many organisations out there for people struggling. There are so many organisations. And with the whole social services and all of this, social services are overworked, underrun. They don't have enough Personally, I feel like they don't have enough training regarding anything. And as a DV survivor, to even go through what you go through in your personal life and to then have to take it further with police cases and social services and courts and CAFCAS and all of these types of organisations, it is very overwhelming for anyone to go through in any certain circumstances anyway. When you share your stories on social media and people want to pick at it and do whatever they want. Now, not everyone is going to resonate with your story. Not everyone is going to believe you, anything like this. And it is so hard to jump up in these types of boxes. And I am shaking. I'm a creator on it. I
think you're doing well. I think you're doing well.
I do lives. Do you know what I mean? I do all of that. And I struggle sometimes. However, for people to sit there and just think that it's so black and white when it really isn't. That it is such a hard, and professionals judge you. People are supposed to stay unbiased in the professional world, the gathers, the social, the this, the that. They're supposed to stay unbiased. They're not supposed to do any of that. And unfortunately, they will judge you. That is part of being a human. Some humans are worse than others and they will judge all the time. But there are so many different areas, especially regarding DV. And yes, people do leave out of fear. There are women and men out there, because it's not just women. Okay, it's predominantly women. Predominantly women share their stories. However, there are men out there as well. And yes, people do stay, not for their children, and because if you want to be selfish, you want to be selfish, whatever, right? There are so many reasons.
Sorry, Kirsty, I'm going to step down because it's just triggered me.
Okay,
I'm so sorry. I am so sorry.
Debbie, thank you for joining, and there are numbers here in the poll, and I'll give you a follow back. I will check in on you once I come up live, but we're sending you all our love, and I think you're amazing, and we all think you're amazing. Thank you for joining, my darling.
Debbie, drop me a message if you would like.
I was just going to say that. Give Jane a follow, please, Debbie, because Jane holds a fantastic live, and it's a safe space, and it's for. Just please give Jane a follow. She's the room to be in.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Debbie. Bye, darling. Guys, as much as I really do care, if you do jump in the box, just please, just be mindful. Thank you, everybody. Hello, Jane. Sorry, I can't see the names. Hello, Jane.
Good morning, Miss Red. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Listen, this was eventually going to happen because this DV talk's been going on for weeks and weeks and weeks now. DV is a pretty serious situation to be in. A lot of us have suffered it. A lot of us has had to heal from it. And triggering people through their trauma is pretty rotten, to be honest.
I agree.
Despicable watching it be like that today. But all I can say to every lady that suffered it, and I've been there myself, I've got the scars to bear in my life, is to heal from it and not to be able to be triggered. You have to stay away from these lives that are holding or slagging DV. You've got to be able to stay away from them and cut off from it, because recovering from a domestic violence situation is long term. It's not good. You're not going to overcome it overnight,
Takes years. I think. Sorry, Jane. There's no end really to how long it takes to get over it. Is there? I think it's something that you learn to live with. You learn to live with, but it makes you stronger. I think mentally. Sorry, Jane.
It does make you stronger mentally, Miss Red. But this talk on everybody slating DV for weeks now really has to stop because it's getting out of control. Women are human. We have the right to live in peace.
And it's not a joke either. Sorry, Jane, it really annoys me because there is literally a femicide happening across the world and we're losing 2 women a week on average in the UK alone. it's not a joke. It's not something that you can throw in someone's face because it's not their fault, you know, regardless of who it is, whether you like them or not. It pisses me off, and I'm sure it does everyone else. Sorry, Jane.
No, not at all. 1 in 5 at the moment, women are losing their life. And that's just the numbers from the end of last year, from when I did the refuge walk. So 1 in 5 women a week are losing their life, which is high numbers, very high numbers. There's no joke to DV, but, you know, I detest that people say, but it's drama talk. It's not drama talk. We've got to live that trauma. We've got to live in that fear of what's happened to us in the past. And a lot of women are not surviving it. So it's wrong that there's even a discussion or joking about it on TikTok, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
You know, that's...
Jane. Guys, please give Jane a follow. If you don't follow Jane, please give her a follow. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jane. Thank you, my darling.
Miss Red, can I just say one thing and then I'm going?
Yeah.
The main reason why I jumped up was because of the foster care system was mentioned. So, like, obviously the best thing for a lot of people seem to think that picking kids up and putting them into foster care is a great solution. Firstly, there aren't enough foster homes in the world for the amount of children that actually do need them. Secondly, foster homes and care placements and care homes that are around for people and children that are genuinely in need aren't always the best solution. There are actually foster placements out there that people and children have suffered further abuse from foster parents and people who are supposedly been vetted by the social services and are just as sneakily as any other perpetrator out there regarding any situation. So I just wanted to put out there that not actually 100% of the time is it just as good to pick a child from their family and put them into a foster care placement. Whilst you think a lot of people seem to be under the understanding that it's okay, the foster carers, they've been vetted by social, they've had the gather checks, they do this, they do that. So therefore your children are 100% safe. And I just want to put it out there that actually genuinely not always are your children 100% safe with the people that there are out there.
However, I will say that, you know, there are a lot of successful, you know,
100%.
Well.
There are
100%. Yeah.
Loads.
There's a lot of amazing foster carers out there, foster homes and things like that.
100% there are, but there are also a small minority that aren't so great, and therefore it's not always the best solution. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Thank you so much for letting me up.
Darling.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Yeah, do you know what? I can imagine being a foster carer. It would be a rewarding job, but at the same time, such a hard job as well, you know.
Yeah.
Hello, Lily. Yeah.
Hello. I just wanted to say that you can get apps as well, like the Holly Guide that will star on your phone. And if you're in a dangerous situation, you hold the button and it'll contact emergency services and record and evidence things for you as well.
And you can also press, I think you press your volume down button on your phone 5 times and it comes up to ring the police. I think hang on, let me just check. Oh no, they must have changed it. I'll look into it and I'll see if there's any posts on it.
Yeah, if you've got an iPhone, you can press and hold your power button and just press SOS.
Well, this app also gets your location. It sends a emergency message out to your family and friends to get your help as fast as you can.
Yeah, sorry, it's the power button. You press the power button 5 times and you can just slide across and it will ring the police.
Okay. Thank you, Lily, darling. I'm just going to go to Alana and then we'll go to Papa B. Thank you. Hello, Alana.
Hi, Miss Red. I just came in really to just say, like, you know, as we all know, DV is a very, very mixed situation type thing. You know, like I've been through it myself. Left a year and a half ago. And yeah, I just think that I just think it's a situation that people need to stop talking on if they haven't been through it. I've grown up and I've had a lot of friends who have been involved in DV before I was. And it's the type of thing that you look at and you think, that could never be me in that situation. And I feel like
it's one of these things, you know, like you said, there's never a time in healing. It's something that when you've been through it, it affects you for the rest of your life. You know, no matter how much you heal, no matter how much you know, build yourself up in a character, it will always affect you and haunt you, whether that be the fear, whether that be the memories, whatever. And I think that's one thing that I've come to realise. I'm a quite strong-willed person, and I always have been. I've been through a lot in my life, a lot of pretty deep things. And I just feel like, you know, it's one of them things that till you go through it, you never know how it can truly, truly affect you. Not only you, but the people around you as well. Because, like, I don't know about other people, but with me, you know, I was going through it for 6 years. I got in the relationship when I was 17. And I left August last year, or the year before. And, you know, even no matter how much you take away from it, you know, like the police didn't do anything about my case. I know there's a lot of people out there who haven't got justice. And honestly, I send all my love out to all of you, because the justice system is an absolute mess. You know, and as much as there is a lot of things out there, support, you know, numbers, people to contact, I feel like, you know, you, as much as you can contact people and you can speak to other people who have been through it, it's one of them things where nobody's situation is the same. Absolutely. So although you may feel how somebody felt, or, you know, whatever, you would never ever, or you know, you could have entailed a situation with your abuser that somebody else has. You never ever truly understand deep down how it affects somebody. And I feel like no matter how much support you reach out for or help, you know, when you are on your own, you know, it truly does affect you, your brain, your thought process. You know, with going out, like, I've gone from being a person who loves to go out and make friends to somebody who doesn't really leave the house. I've gone through counselling. I'm awaiting more counselling. You know, I've been trying to be given meds, which I won't take because I've got trauma behind it from my childhood, and my mum and things that she encountered. So I just feel like people just need to, you know, be a little bit more sensitive. And if anyone ever, you know, needs to reach out, my inbox is always open. And just, you know, guys, just check up on your friends, check up on, you know, even if you haven't heard from somebody for a couple of days, check on them. Because honestly, I had so many people around me who didn't check up on me, and eventually I was nearly unalived. So just, you know, be there for your people, your family, you know, even the people that you would never even think that it would happen to. And, you know, if anyone is stuck in a situation, or needs anyone, like I said, my inbox is open. I'm always on my phone, I'll always reply. And yeah, you know, just don't beat yourselves up. We're all here, we all got to stand together at the end of the day, you know, and all we can do is be here for each other, whether we've got the justice or if we haven't. So, you know, we're not just women, men as well, because I feel like a lot of people base it more around women. And, you know, yeah, definitely. And, you know, men as well, men are out there, it does happen to men. There is also like a lot of different types, you know, it's never always just physical, could be financial, could be, you know, reactive, it could be anything. So please, guys, just, even if you're ever, you know, just a little bit suspicious of something, please always just be there for the person, and just always have your door open, because you never know when they might need you. Okay. And yeah, that's about it. And I'm sorry for getting upset.
No, don't be sorry. You know, this is what these boxes are for, you know, so you can come in and you can talk. And I think, you know, people need to remember, some people don't actually get to speak to anybody. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, thank you for joining the box, and I'm going to give you a little follow back. Guys,
thank you.
Please make sure that you're following Alana, please, everybody.
Sorry, guys. Can I just
add apologise.
Can I just add as well? I know Angie's not here anymore. But I did also just want to say, you know, I think people forget that
on an average, females go back to their abuser 7 times before they actually leave.
That's true.
I actually kicked my abuser out many times and had him back, because I think what people are forgetting is that a lot of the time it involves manipulation and gaslighting.
Yeah.
And, you know, when things happen, no matter how serious, I think, you know, like we've said, a lot of people come from certain situations and just want that bit of love. And when that little bit of love is shown, it's like all the negativity is forgotten about, you know, and you seem to think that it's going to get better. A lot of people.
I said that. I said, you know, usually when people that have been, you know, they haven't had a very good childhood and things like that, they haven't been shown a lot of love, they kind of like latch on to somebody that, and usually with people that don't have, you know, very good intentions, it's love bombing and things like that, isn't it? That's why so many people experience.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, yeah.
You know, I don't like where Angie was saying, because this is what really, really annoyed me, to be honest. When Angie was saying about children, you know, being taken away and things, like, I don't think people realise, right? As much as people may get into situations and things, yeah, a lot of people are only here for their children. My children was the only thing that got me through it and kept me fighting through what I was going through, because
Absolutely.
I knew I had to be here for my children.
I think that's, you know, that's quite a common thing, and absolutely, you know, there are blessing children, and I think a lot of people can relate with you there. Alana, thank you, my darling. Thank you for joining the box.
It's all right. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Guys, can we flood the chat with hearts, please? Thank you, Alana.
Thank you.
Thank you, darling. Hi, Papa B.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right, can't complain. I've only come up, really, just to say, like, obviously, I've never been through it personally for me in my adult life, but as a child, obviously, I witnessed it with my mother. And it's not nice to witness even as a child, because you're helpless. You are helpless to do anything. But that's not what I'm here to say. What I'm here to say is men can do more as well. Like, the good men, because there is good men and there's good women and there's good everybody, but the men that know that their friends are, because you can still be friends with them, whether people like it or not. Every man will know someone that hits his wife or hits his kids. You know what I mean? You have a duty as well to care and say, what the fuck are you doing? And even offer a handout to maybe the woman and say, I can help you. He might be my friend or whatever, but I can also help you too. Because men sometimes just let it go. They'll talk about it in the pub. They'll be in the pub and it'll be like, your wife might ring you and be like, oh, you're coming home, kids need to go to bed, or I've got this to do. Fuck off, I'll do what It's not good. Step up and be a man as well, and say to people who you class as a friend. I mean, I wouldn't be friends with anyone that beat the wife, I'll be honest with you. I'd just say, fuck off, you're next to me. And I'd be more trying to help the partner. But men do, they will see it and they will understand it more, and they should be pulling it up, in my opinion, and just saying, I can help you as a woman.
I agree, and obviously everybody else agrees.
Yeah, that's all I've come to say. Like, if there's any man you can confide in, go and do it. Speak to whoever you can, and I know it's hard, it is difficult for women, and you are right, it is a matter of them being scared, because they've already witnessed the worst from what they think is the worst. They don't know what might happen after that. So that's all I'm here to say. Just to say, just speak up as a man. If you see it, or if you hear it, if you expect it, just treat your woman how you'd expect someone to treat your daughter or your mother. That's all you can do. But I wish you all the best. I hope all you women that have been through it or are going through it can find help. My advice would be speak to people who can help you. And sometimes, unfortunately, some people that are going through it aren't the best people to speak to, because they're struggling themselves as well. Try and get professional help or whatever. But men, speak up and fucking be there for that person that needs you in the end. Other than that, big love to you all. Great subject, and stay safe out there, ladies.
Thank you, Papa B.
Okay, take care. Have a great chat. Bye all.
Bye, darling.
Absolutely love that from Papa B. I'm going to drop as well, Miss Red, in just a wee second, but I think that's a really, really important point. And I see this in so many debates. I see it on so many posts as well, which is, you know, not all men, and men get offended when it's not me, it's not me, it's not me. And I think what Papa Blaze has just said is really important, because it is all men, and that is just one little thing that you can do to help that problem. So I think that's really important. The other thing I'm going to say just before I drop is on the 7 times thing. He will not change. You cannot change him. Contact the numbers in the polls. Please do not go to strangers on the internet at all. People who have been through certain situations still hold vulnerabilities and are susceptible to manipulation.
Yes.
There are also, I know people don't like this word. It's not meant in that sense. It's meant in the sense of the English language. There are predatory people out there who will look for vulnerable people. Sometimes it can even be accidental. They'll see a weakness and then that's you. So whether you think you're healed, whether you think you are, like 10 men, you're still susceptible to inboxes, to groups, to things like that, which aren't run by professionals. It's good to talk. When you go to professionals, they will talk about talking groups, therapy groups, but they are professionally set up. Even though they're through charitable local services, they're professionally set up. Nobody's going to come out that chat, go on TikTok and start slagging you off and saying, yeah, but you said this in group chat at therapy afternoon. It's not going to happen. So please, everybody, just be careful and contact the numbers in the poll and not people's DMs. But thanks for having me and I'll catch you all later.
Thank you, Birdie Apples. Always the voice of reason, you Birdie Apples. Hello, Just Jay.
Hello, Trouble. I hope you're all right.
What?
Cheers for letting me up. First and foremost, I want to. This is a fantastic topic to talk about. I have been through this as a child. I witnessed my mum, sort of like Papa Blaze to a degree.
Yeah.
And one of the stigmas that seem to come about at the moment is and I've heard it so many times, is, oh, why don't you just leave? Why don't you just pack up and leave? My mum was in a relationship with my dad for, I have to say, around about 8 years. And from the time she met him, well, she says just after she got married is when it started. It got that bad that obviously her hands would shake as she would open the door to let herself in. There's more to go into, and I don't want to go into exactly how horrific it ended up, but it got very, very serious. Can I just add as well that the women that have come into the box, how absolutely brave you are for speaking out. You don't realise how tough it is for these people to come in and even just say or just speak about their stories. It is so super brave, and you should all be proud of yourself, because there'll be someone in this box that is, or someone in this chat now, that is not commenting, not speaking, but they would have heard these inspirational stories and maybe get a bit of strength from that to go and seek help. Please reach out to your local refugees and things like that. They were a lifesaver, because when we left, I was about 5-6 years old, and we ended up in a refuge, and as horrific as they sound, they were a blessing. I ended up with about 13 mums. They were brilliant, and although I did end up with a lot of trauma from a childhood, and I don't want to make it about me, it's really not. It was a lifesaver, and I just admire all you ladies. I fight for women's mental health and domestic violence, and you guys, I know it's really difficult. I can only imagine how hard it is, but please ring one of them. I'm not a medical professional. I'm not a professional in domestic violence by any stretch of the imagination, but please reach out to somebody, because you don't realise how important it is. So that's all I really wanted to say. It's more of an admiration for the people coming up, because people shouldn't be speaking. And I can't believe the amount of times that people keep speaking on these topics, not like what you're doing and raising awareness, but speaking on these topics and having opinions about things they never ever experienced, whether it be you're a child or whether you've been impacted as a spouse of someone that's done this. But yeah, they shouldn't be speaking on these topics. The trauma that has been caused and the wounds that have been reopened by what has been openly discussed by a certain individual today is horrific. And I can only imagine the amount of people right now that are in a terrible state. And my heart goes out to all of you. It's an ongoing fight. You're never going to be over it, but hopefully, as time goes on, you will learn to get that bit of strength. I mean, by the end of I admire my mum. I'm going to talk about my mum because she's an absolute hero of mine.
Oh.
But when my dad passed away, the biggest thing that I admired more, because I didn't see him until he passed away. Obviously, we moved out to the refuge. We changed our name for safety reasons. It got horrific. But I ended up seeing him in my 20s when he passed away. And I was in admiration because my mum turned up at the hospital and forgave him for everything when he was passing away. And for somebody to do that, it just, I think it was for her, it let her let things go. It was the end of
that gave me goosebumps, that did, when you said that, because that is just such a selfless thing to do, isn't it?
Yeah, she really is. Honestly, I can't. People talk about women's strength. Now, I know that I can only speak from a personal experience. I know people say, "Oh, men's strength. You know, men are bigger than women. But I can honestly say that mentally, women are far superior to men, without a shadow of a doubt. You know, the strength to bear children and the strength to go through what my mum did. She had the opportunity to give us all up before she went in the refuge, and she point blank refused. I wasn't easy work. I was hard work. I was quite a messed up child, as you can imagine. And
doesn't that, sorry to interrupt you, so do you know obviously women that have gone through DV or experiencing DV, that these women, right, men as well equally, they think that they're the weak-minded and they're not strong enough, and
exactly
they will mentally, like, you don't understand how strong you are, guys. Sorry, Jay, I just wanted to say that.
No, I appreciate that. Yeah, even going through that every day that you wake up and you have to face this again and again, wondering how you're going to get through each day. You don't realise the strength mentally that takes. Women, you've got it all in you. Believe me when I tell you, you have it all. Look at the women of the past. You know, I know she's not everyone's favourite, but Margaret Thatcher, people like that, mentally, women can achieve such monumentous things. And I know you think it's just a little thing, but taking that first step and reaching out for help it doesn't seem like a lot, but it's huge. Please, guys.
It's the bravest thing you can do. Really, it's the strongest as well. Thank you, Jay, my darling, for joining the box.
You're welcome. Take care, everybody, and I wish you nothing but love. And anyone that's affected, I'm honestly sending love all your ways. And I agree with Papa B. Just before I leave, please, guys, if you are friends of somebody that has or has ever raised a hand to a lady, please, guys, call them out on it. You need to before it's too late. Honestly. Be the bigger man, be the right man, and call it out if you see it. Absolutely. Right, I'm going to love you. Right,
thank you, Jay.
You're welcome.
Bye, darling. Bless him. I just want to say, I'd love to get more people in the boxes. But I think, like, you know, we pretty much covered everything, and, you know, people have come in and, you know, made their points. And I just want to say to everyone that joined the box today, that must have been so hard for you, but you're honestly braver than what you think. And I just think, like, it's just such a bigger thing than just leave. It's not that easy. It isn't that easy to just leave, pack a bag and walk out the door. It isn't. But, you know, you will eventually get there if you have gone through it. We don't care what Delusive Angie is saying at the minute, guys. You will eventually get that strength. Please don't, I don't care what Delusive Angie's up to. It's about this live right about now. And I just want to say, everybody, it's difficult conversations. We're all adults. And, you know, I just want to say thank you to people being so respectful in the comments while people was in the boxes. It was really kind that you showed as much love as what you did. Thank you, everybody. And this is a difference here. You know, we can have these conversations and chats don't get wild because you're all good people, guys. All of you are lovely people, and that's what makes us different to other communities, that you actually have empathy and, you know, you have a heart. Do you know what I mean? And we love that. So thank you, everybody. And the moderators, big up to you as well for putting these numbers in the poll, because I ain't no professional, guys. You know, I don't sit here and claim to be a professional. I can only speak on my experience, and I will always do that. One thing I will always do is take the power back from situations that I've been through, and my voice will be fucking heard. all right? So nobody will tell me that I should be speaking about situations. I will speak on whatever I want to in this live, okay? Yes, absolutely. There we go, guys. Such a hard life that was, weren't it, guys? Such a hard life, but thank you everybody really for joining the box and being kind. Yeah, it was. Yeah, so I'm not going to go on to play any more FYP videos after that, because where do you go from there, really? But I just want to say to all DV survivors, you are fucking brave. And if you're not out of the situation yet, you will be. You'll find that strength, and it'll be the best thing that you ever do. And you don't stay because you don't love your kids. You stay because at that time you don't feel like you've got anywhere to go. You don't feel like, you feel worthless. It's not about not loving your kids. It's about you start to lose love in yourself, guys. That's what it's about. Yes. Right, guys, I'm going to get going. I hope everybody's okay. Like I say, there are numbers there if you are going through something, and please take note of the numbers. I will see you all tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock. No, don't apologise, Kimmy. These conversations ain't easy for people. They ain't easy for people, and I understand people have to leave. But my boxes are always open, and please don't think I'm shutting you down about, the trauma that you've experienced. I just don't want people to get an opportunity to use it against you. I do care, and I'd love to sit here and listen to you all day, but we've just got to keep you protected. All right, guys. Yeah, I'm okay, guys. It's a hard conversation for anybody, isn't it? So it affects you really, but mentally, you're stronger than what you believe, and I just want to say that. All right, guys. So MVP to my Linz. I love you, Jackie. Thank you for the flowers, darling. Thank you, Jackie. MVP to my Linz, Kelly, Claire, Joe DeMarie, Little Evie, Vince, Angie, Jay DeMarie, Jen's Mouths, Pinky Punk, Jackie. My mouth's really dry. Bum Nugget. Joe, Buffy, Roxy, I'll give you a follow back, darling. Susan, Busy Lizzie, Lindsay, Vic, Lou, and Darren. Oh, did I miss someone there? Where's Darren? Darren. There you are, darling. Oh, that's gone off now. It's gone off, guys. Sorry. Please avoid lives that would be, having conversations like this that wouldn't handle it, as I don't know, as respectfully as what other people would. Just go in spaces when conversations like this are being had, that there's, make sure it's the right room for you guys is what I'm going to say. Thank you, TJ. Thank you, my darling. Love you all, and I will see you at 10 o'clock.